Okay, so I just worked out on a Peloton, which was super cool because I've never used a Peloton before, but we are not allowed to film in the gym, which is ridiculous because like this is not like a hotel gym. This is like a regular health club. Like it is so intense. You're like up on a different level and then you walk down. Like you're like overlooking the gym at first, and then there's just like loads of machines, there's classes, it's absolutely beautiful in there, there's a pool, whatever. Anyway, however, this hotel is known for being the original location to have brownies. Like they invented brownies. This is the original recipe. It was like $8 for a brownie, but I'm gonna try it later. Not right now, because right now we're going on a donut tour. Hey everyone, it's Karen. Okay, so I am back from my little mini vacation with my mom. It was originally designed to be her Christmas gift. I basically planned her a pack up and go vacation, only I was the pack up and go travel agent. And I like sent her like the weather a week ahead of time, and then I was going to tell her where we're going the morning of, but I had to tell her early because of weather. We actually ended up canceling our trip because when we were supposed to go, there was just an absolute huge snowstorm, and we would have been okay at the start of our trip getting there, but it would have been impossible to head home in time for Christmas. So we ended up canceling it and rescheduling it for the past couple days, like the middle to end of spring break, I would say. It was super fun. There was so much history surrounding our hotel, which I didn't know like when I booked it. Like I knew it was like a historic hotel, but I just didn't realize all the things. Like it was the first hotel to have a phone in it, and I'm not sure if this is in the United States or in the entire world. The first hotel to have an elevator. The first place ever, apparently, to create brownies. Like brownies became a thing because it was first mentioned that they had them at this hotel in their restaurant or something. I don't know. I need to do a little more research, so I will put the exact details of that below in case there's any controversy about if it's actually the first brownie or not. But anyway, one of the really cool things is we went on a donut tour. And it was just really cool because I was a little nervous about going on it just because like that is so much more sugar and carbs than I normally have. And like I have diabetes, so like that's not ideal. But my mom really wanted to go on it, and I like thought that it would be really fun as well, and that every once in a while you have to do things that are not the best just because you want to live fully, right? And it ended up being like so perfect because there was so much walking. My blood sugar never spiked from that donut tour, which was amazing. It stayed really steady in a healthy range the entire time. And I was like, this is amazing. So I think activity is like a huge part of it, but I also think that my body is just becoming more receptive to like the insulin getting into my cells and stuff. And I don't know if that's drugs, weight loss, everything. Anyway, I'm just happy that like the changes that I'm making seem to actually be having an impact finally. So that's cool. I went to Women and Children First, which is a huge feminist bookstore in Chicago. The owners are actually amazing. I met one of them when I was there, and that was really, really cool. As a result, I bought loads of books, which are spread in an arc around me on the floor. So I thought I would take some time to share some of them with you and just kind of tell you about them. They're not all from Women and Children First, but I got them on our trip, or I arrived home to find them. There are a few more that I ordered online after visiting Women and Children First because I became obsessed, and I joined them as a member, which means I get certain perks throughout the year, and then I placed an online order. So I'm just going to talk about those when they come later, not mention them now. But Women and Children First is possibly the bookstore that the feminist bookstore in Portlandia is based on. There's like one in Portland and one in Chicago, and they kind of like friendly fight about which one was the inspiration for the Portlandia show, because this bookstore has been open since like the 1970s, and it's just super cool, super queer, super feminist. Like I absolutely loved it. Anyway, one of the owners also has a pretty significant physical disfigurement sort of situation going on. And so that's really cool as well, that they're not just like trying to be some kind of way, but like they embody, you know, just an openness and a welcoming everyone, and just like a amazing sense of community. So anyway, the first book I got there, this is my current purse book. It is The Ghost of You, and it's by Margarita Sayona. This, I don't even know how to describe, and the reason it's my purse book is just because it's so good to dip in and out of. I would say that this is kind of poetry, but it's not really. It's also like stream of consciousness sort of things, or essay sort of things. I would just call them pieces, I guess, because I don't know, like, they can't be put into a box. They don't fit into the essay category. They don't fit into the poetry category. They're everything and nothing all at the same time. And this is written by somebody. I'm going to read the back. She is a Peruvian-born academic. She teaches at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And it says she's interested in memory, cognition, empathy, and representation in literature and the arts. And I've only read a little bit of this so far, but like what I have read has been incredible. It opens with, let me just read the quick opening because I think what I do. This is what I do. Small word artifacts to fill the brief space where you are not. This is what I do. Small word artifacts vainly trying to fill up the vast space of your absence. Like, that's how it starts. Mic drop. The next part I read is called Fallen Angels, and I want to reread this one again because I was reading it in the hotel room while the TV was on. But it really reminded me of my dad. It is a story of a man who obviously has some cognitive issues, and the way it's written and the way it kind of ebbs and flows through his thoughts and through memories almost give you the perception that you also have cognitive issues or a cognitive impairment. And it's just like, what's real, what's not real, all this sort of stuff. It was just so well done. And I just think that this is so short, but it's going to be filled with like such masterpieces that, like, for a piece to be showing you what it's like for somebody to possibly have a cognitive impairment and to still have that piece be enjoyable at the same time, like, oh, it's so good. Okay, then I got a copy of this book called The Misconceiver. It's by Lucy Ferris, and essentially this is about a time when women are no longer allowed to have abortions, and this is about somebody that provides women with abortions anyway. And it is just a dystopian novel that was written a long time ago. Not super long, maybe in the 90s, and 1997. It is autographed, and apparently, well, not apparently, obviously, it's quite relevant today, even though it was written in 1997 about a dystopian future. So I thought that would be interesting. And I think that, I don't know. Okay, this is by Labyrintho Press. And this obviously is also not like a typical publisher. So I think that these both might be indie publishers. Wandering Agnes Press. And I've been really into indie publishers recently. So I'm excited to check both those out. And then the last one I got, House of Cotton. So this, I'll just read the description. 19 years old, broke, and effectively an orphan, Magnolia doesn't have much to look forward to. She feels stuck and haunted by her overdrawn bank account, her predatory landlord, and the ghost of her late grandmother, Mama Brown. One night, while working at a dead-end gas station job, a mysterious, slick stranger named Cotton walks in and offers to turn Magnolia's luck around with a lucrative modeling job at his family's funeral home. Magnolia accepts, but despite things looking up, Magnolia's problems fatten along with her wallet. When Cotton requests become increasingly weird, Magnolia discovers there's a lot more at stake than just her rent. Sharp as a belted knife, this sly social commentary cuts straight to the bone, revealing the aftermath of American plantation and what it means to be poor, black, and a woman in the God-fearing South. In addition, George Saunders did a blurb for the cover. On the back, I recognize like Raven Leilani, and there's a bunch of other people that I do know this person as well, Disha Apilya, the author of The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. So like a lot of people are raving about this book, and this is the author, and she's black, but she's also Appalachian, but she calls it Afro-Latin. And so I feel like this is just a book that sounds really good as it is, but I also feel like it's a book that can kind of stretch me. Like, I haven't heard of the term Afro-Latin before, and yeah, so just to be exposed to something new sounds amazing as well. So that is all from Women and Children First. After that, we went to lunch at this amazing place that was recommended by another booktuber. I will link her channel below. She actually recently changed her channel name to be all focused on indies. So it's like kind of cool that I just a couple weeks ago discovered like, maybe indie publishers are like where it's at. Like maybe this is something I need to discover more about. And then she recently just changed her whole channel name for that exact reason, to highlight indie publishers and to focus on one every month, or I don't know. Check her below and you can see what she's doing. But anyway, we went to a place that she recommended called Little Bad Wolf. It was amazing. Yeah, just get their french fries. Oh my gosh. Anyway, After that, we had some more time, so we ended up going to the Swedish American Museum, which is just like a really like small little museum in Chicago. Like Chicago is just filled with so many museums, and people always go to the same ones all the time, but there's a lot of really nice like neighborhood museums and just lesser known museums, and so it was really cool to go to that one. And they actually were under construction because they were getting ready to open a new exhibit, and so when we went there, we actually got to like try out their new exhibit and like give feedback on like the content and how it was presented and stuff like that and what we learned, and that was really fun to be part of that as well. But anyway, they had a huge section of books that were written by not really just Swedish writers, but just kind of that area, Scandinavian authors. And so I picked up two, and I actually think that neither of these are Swedish, but anyway. The first one is called Strega, and it's by Johan Lieke Kolm. It's translated by Saskia Vogel. And this basically talks about a 19-year-old who leaves her parents' home and travels to the Olympic Hotel perched in the mountains above the small village of Strega. And she just talks about, or the author in this little blurb just talks about how she's working at this hotel, and like how all the other women just kind of like band together in this group of like hotel workers. And it says that she builds a world filled with secrecy and potential energy of girls on the cusp of womanhood, an allegory for the societal rights, expectations of women, and violence that we too easily allow. Strega builds like a spell that keeps exerting its powers long after reading. And then I also got Everything I Don't Remember by Jonas Hassan Kumari. When I review these, I will look up how to say the author's name. This is about somebody who dies in a car crash, and they're trying to figure out, was it suicide? Was it actually a car crash, like on accident, you know? And so it goes back, I think, to the day like before the accident and kind of reviews a whole bunch of stuff. It is blurbed by Joyce Carol Oates, I'm pretty sure, or it was chosen as the 2016 Times Literary Supplement Book of the Year as chosen by Joyce Carol Oates. I thought it was sounding really cool. I like when there's kind of like a zooming in on like a small incident in someone's life. And so, yeah, we'll see if this is good. And then I went to the Art Institute of Chicago, which you could spend days in there. There's so much. We kind of loosely followed the if you have an hour thing to get to some of the better known art, but I would like to go back and just have it be like part of a day trip. Like, I don't really know much about art, but I just think it's incredible what art is there that is so old, and it's in front of us for us to view. And there is a book I own that I was kind of reflecting on as I was going through this, but that I haven't actually read yet. And it is essentially about museums and how we have acquired all this stuff, and does it belong in Chicago? Or if I'm looking at something from like long ago in India, does it belong to the people of India? Like, how have we acquired all this artwork, and has it always been done in the best way? So I'm interested in reading that book, but it also made me kind of interested in learning more about art history, because I have like zero art knowledge. I appreciate art, but I don't know much about it beyond that. And I didn't really find too many books on art history, or not really what I was quite looking for. But I did find this book, which is The Essential Guide to the Art Institute of Chicago, and it basically walks you through a bunch of their art. I don't know if it's everything, I'm guessing not. I feel like it would be way longer if it was everything they have, but it shows you the piece of art, and then it will give a description just more about it. And I think that would be really interesting to go through, and then maybe revisit and actually see some of these in person that I may have missed on this last trip. Then I arrived home and I had a package from a publisher. It is the book Healing by Teresa Brown. She's a registered nurse, and it's basically about when she had breast cancer and became a patient. And I think there's a lot of reflection probably on like the medical system in, I was gonna say Chicago, but in the United States, and how people are treated and how they need to advocate for themselves and all that stuff. I think it would be really interesting to hear from her perspective what it's like to be a patient. And then I kind of do book of the month occasionally throughout the year. I was about to cancel it for this month and take a break again, but you get a free book for your birthday month, and my birthday month is next month. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep it for like a couple more months and then cancel again, because it seems to me that the book of the month books are ones that just kind of pile up at my apartment and are not ones that I'm always super drawn to, and they end up kind of just being lost, I guess, in all the books, and I don't get to them as often. But I did think these ones sounded really good. So The House is on Fire by Rachel Beanland, Hang the Moon by Jeanette Walls, and then finally The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis, which is a beast. I did have access to this one on NetGalley, so now that I have a physical copy, it might be easier for me to work through and do a review on it. So those are the massive number of books that I have acquired in the past couple days. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will share with you some of the other books from Women and Children First as they come in. I hope you guys are having an amazing spring. And yeah, I think that going on trips sometimes inspires you and makes you think about things you want to change in your life or other ideas you have, and just like gives you like this creative edge, I feel like. So I do have some ideas in my head for this channel, or more of my reading life in general, that I'm pondering. So stay tuned for all that stuff. Let me know what you're reading. If you've never left a comment before, please leave one. I would love to get to know you better, because that's like the whole point of BookTube, is getting to know people. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day whenever you're watching this. Just like soak it up and enjoy it. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.